Attention, Cold Cans Nation. This is a public service announcement. No longer will the Cold Cans boys be beholden to the complex yet simple-minded ranking system they have patched together over the years on this program. No, indeed, there will be beers that they can just drink and enjoy and shoot the shot over, or shoot the shit if you're a little naughty like me. And they can drink it without ranking it. That's right, folks. Today is the first time in Cold Cans history, do not fact check that they will drink a beer and not attempt to rank it. The beer that will hold this honor? Well, it's none other than Trapdoor Brewing's Zest Fest.
That pouring sound effect. We're not pouring.
Cheers,
in that
Joe.
Glass. Cheers. What do you think? This is you've been baking on this for one episode now.
It's my little brainchild. Quick gestational period.
Is it mostly due to us not wanting to update the website?
I think it's partly that. It's partly... It just sort of limits the beers we can drink, right?
It does.
If we have to rank it. And I think it honestly undercuts the original idea of the ranking system of beers that we're going to drink often should be on there, or that we have drank in times that we could actually put some sort of subjective reasoning towards ranking them.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just try a random beer just for the heck of it, whether the can looks cool or you're in a certain mood. And your favorite brewery released a limited edition run. We don't need to rank that. We can just enjoy it, and
I like it.
Talk shit about it.
I like it. I think then you're the way you think of the rankings. Then, if I could paraphrase here,
Please,
would be that
please put some words in my mouth.
the 100 beers on our list are the 100 most important beers of our life. And then those are ranked.
Yeah,
those are ranked by our favorite from 1 to 100. But like you said, a beer like that's seasonal or something like the one we're about to drink, that maybe it'll just blow us away so much that we'll be like, look, we got to make an exclusion. This has got to get on.
We got a new favorite, a new most important.
Right. But if it's sort of just another beer and it's seasonal and we like it, you're right. It wasn't important enough to make our top 100 originally.
Yeah. And I think we've made this mistake in the past, right? We've drank some beers and ranked them that really probably don't deserve to be on there.
And we're atoning for past sins.
We always are. One, we always feel shame. That's a big tenet of the Cold Cans Nation.
Absolutely.
Always feeling shame. And two, trying to atone at all times to your own detriment and to the detriment of those around you.
Yes. Yeah. I abiding by that law. From us, I agree with this decision. So then we more or less right away, or as we get into it, we kind of make a call and we go, is this you said it earlier, drink or rank? I like that. Whereas
Drink
we
or
could
rank.
say, this isn't a ranker. It's going to be fairly rare, pretty high bar to make it a ranker. We're just drinking it. And then, if we're bowled over, we go, this sucker's a fucking ranker.
Sure.
It's a ranker.
I think... Or maybe we could complicate it further, perhaps, by
Let's do it.
creating another, a little corral on the side where these beers could become rankable. Because
minor league.
It's still, maybe a minor league of sorts.
The G
If
League.
we still are willing to rank just some random beer, that still, I think, takes away from the concept of the rankings that we originally went in with. Not that hasn't changed over time, but if that's something we want to get back to of these beers are important in our lives or whatever.
Okay. So these beers don't go straight to Satan's walking cooler in hell.
Right.
They don't necessarily maybe we say rank and it's going right to the walking cooler in hell.
Sure.
But maybe you're right. These are sort of in the side corral. I like it. I like that idea. Maybe they're in purgatory. They're in beer purgatory.
Sure. You'd say brugatory, I guess, but that's fun.
No, it's not. I'm not having any fun.
Pubgatory.
We'll hang on to it for a while.
I have to do this.
Beer corral.
Yeah, the OK corral.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's the leader in the clubhouse. The OK corral. Okay. I like it.
And then they'll still be on the main feed of the website, but
Certainly.
they'll be in a separate section on the rankings page.
Either that, or I can create a whole nother page called the OK Corral page for these all to go in.
Let's do it. I mean,
All
you
right.
should do it, as I don't want to, but let's do it.
I'm on it. Let me write down in my Todoist. Add task. OK Corral.
That's right, folks. The Cold Cans Boys use Todoist to stay on task with all the important things they're doing throughout the day. Sign up at Todoist.com/Cold Cans Podcast /OK Corral to sign up today.
And Todoist is the most effective software for getting work done. It keeps us on track every week releasing a new episode. It keeps our Patreon organized. We organize and schedule our live shows via Todoist.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Back to the show.
Back to the show.
How you've had a few sips, and this is the kind of beer you would enjoy more than I
Yeah.
would. What do you think so far?
Yep. So this is you described it as dank. It is a dank beer. It's like very like
I don't think I did say dank.
hazy. Maybe before the episode. I apologize. It's super hazy, super juicy. Kind of like some of these beers like this smell like old socks almost. Like they're really. This isn't quite that heavy.
No, it's not. Yeah, it's a little fruity.
Yeah, and I actually don't like the old socks territory. That's where we're starting to get too much.
Okay.
With the haziness, but I do love hazy IPAs. I'm happy that it became a trend because I drank one a few years ago and was like, "Fuck, this is like I love this type of beer on a hot, nice day," and this fits that mold really well.
And you live in the right place, part of the country to enjoy hazy IPAs.
Sure.
So
yeah, and this is also local, Vancouver, Washington, down by Portland, and fuck if it isn't good.
Wow.
It's the type of thing I'd get at like a brew pub, and I go, yeah, this one's really good, but it isn't.
Nice.
It isn't like life altering. A lot of these beers aren't. They're just really. There's nothing like particular about their flavor that I can pick out. It's just fruity, fresh hop type thing.
And I think that's a point that's true as we've seen like microbreweries and breweries in general just become more of a thing, right? There's all these breweries and they're sort of making the same things, or there's a few breweries that are innovating and then other people are copying what they do.
Yeah.
That's how everything works basically. But yeah, it ends up with a lot of beers that just taste mostly the same.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I like that taste, but
right, which is fine, but it's not necessarily something you need to come back to again and again because you can just get basically that same experience at almost any other brewery that's doing roughly the same thing. But I agree. I like the flavor of this one, actually. I generally not a hophead, as we know, but I do like this.
And 48% of Cold Cans Nation agrees with you.
Heck yeah, malt maniacs.
But
sound off.
52% of my fellow hopheads out there would love this. Trapdoor Brewing is the brewery, as we mentioned, Vancouver. It's called Zest Fest. This actually isn't a hazy IPA. It's a grapefruit pale ale, which I think is what dampens some of the taste a little bit. And that's not
makes
a bad
sense,
thing.
actually. Yeah,
Yeah,
because it's also not hazy in appearance at all.
but that's not a bad thing. I like it a lot. The malt, they list the malt and the hops right here in the can. Malt, two-row, pills, flaked wheat, and oats. Hops, Citra, and Cascade. I love everything that has Citra hop in it.
Right. And that's something, Cascade and Citra come from out here.
Yep.
Right?
And Mosaic hops. Those are, Citra and Mosaic for sure are my two favorite hops.
Nice.
Especially out here in the Pacific Northwest. Just had a beer the other day called Citra, I believe.
Standard?
And it was Standard Brewing right by our neighborhood out here in Seattle, and it was fucking good. That one is really good.
Yeah.
Standard makes great beers. If you're ever in Seattle,
So
stop by
that's
Standard.
That's a hazy?
Yeah, I actually don't think it's a hazy IPA, though. I think it's a hazy pale ale, which is like, I see that more these days. There's hazy everything. They're hazifying.
Could you say the difference between an India Pale Ale and just a Pale Ale? Do you know?
No,
I don't know either.
IPAs are almost always have higher alcohol content.
Okay.
And without the hazy kind of variation of it, they're usually quite a bit more bitter. So I would assume the IBUs are higher on an IPA than on a pale ale. But, it's been 128 episodes and we still don't know much about beer. Do you got it? Do you have it in front of you?
I don't... Wikipedia does not provide a quick answer, so no, I don't.
No.
It just says the style is a hoppy beer style within the broader category of pale ale, and then it says the style of pale ale, which became known as India Pale Ale, was widespread in England by 1815 and would grow in popularity, notably as an export beer shipped to India and elsewhere.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I would have assumed, it was something hops or whatever grown in India, but no, Indian people just liked IPAs,
apparently,
so we started calling them IPAs. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I am kind of at a point in my life where I prefer pale ales to IPAs. Sometimes they're too bitter, and a pale ale is not trying to do that much. But again, hazy throws the whole thing for a left turn.
Got it. It sort of sounds like IPAs, like the hoppiness is what sets it apart. Typically,
super, super hoppy. Yeah.
And maybe that's as simple as it is. As far as simple explanations go, anyway.
And truly, if any explanation is beyond that, I am not interested.
Right, I'll tune out after word 6.
Yeah. Well, this one is, fits in that. It isn't a hazy IPA, but it kind of fits that category. It's something you'd have, like, I feel like I'd have it before a meal or in an afternoon, but I wouldn't want it with food. And I don't usually want it kind of late at night or anything like that because it really starts to knock you out.
Yeah.
But man, it's good.
Yeah, what's
for
the
an
ABV
afternoon.
on this?
5.6.
Okay. So approaching higher amounts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that. It's it's pretty refreshing, but I would not want it. The fruitiness aspect makes me not want it with food. So yeah, I think you're right about when we would drink this type of beer.
Yeah. It's a backyard beer, baby.
Backyard beer.
The Backyard Beer Brigade. But I believe it is an OK Corral.
It is a OK Corral territory, yes.
Yeah, it's not a rankable. We got a couple segments. You have one, right? You said you have a segment?
I have a segment.
I also have a segment.
Mine involves more drinking of beer.
So does mine for the most part.
Oh, okay. For the most part. Ooh.
Well, it kind of does and kind of doesn't. Maybe we should... Let's do mine because it won't be as much.
Okay.
And then we'll get to yours.
Got it.
Okay.
And when you say not as much, you mean not as fun or as good?
It won't be as much drinking. It's certainly going to be funnier than whatever you came up with, as evidenced by last week's absolute bungling of most people are food. But hybrid joke with the mama's fat.
Your mama, ought to qualify for statehood.
Both good jokes. What are we doing? Oh, my segment. All right, here we go. You have music queued up? Okay, here it is. It's a new segment. Let me set it up a little bit. All right, we got to go back. We're going to go back to the music. I was setting this up because I went to my doctor the other day.
Wow.
And he said, Joey, if you come in here again, I'm going to wring your little fucking neck. And I said, I
should get a different doctor, Joe.
And
Enough.
I said, I'm allowed to come in here. This is a doctor's office. And he says, it's a private practice, and you cannot come in anymore. Anyway, he said my electrolytes were still down, and it got me thinking.
Your electrolytes?
Yeah, they're still down.
So is that a blood test or a piss test?
It was kind of both. He mixed them.
Oh, wow. Did it like gargle them?
Yeah, well, that's how he said this, the only way you can mix. Anyway, he pulled up your chart too, and he had your blood and urine, and he said that he extracted those. But anyway, you're also low on electrolytes, and so I thought, well, hell, if I'm still low on electrolytes, this could be a new segment for Cold Cans. And the segment, now let's cue up the music here. Now the segment is, Will It Shandy? All right, today on the show of Will It Shandy, we have ourselves a returning drink from last week, a Waveline Seltzer and Electrolytes Classic Lemonade. And as this segment, every week we do this segment, and as it usually goes, we're going to pour today's beer in with a little bit of the Waveline, and we ask ourselves, will it Shandy? Okay, first up, our guest has got a fresh new haircut, hails out of the Midwest.
Okay.
What's that? You interrupted the host.
No, please continue.
He's a buxom man, a burly,
Wow.
virile man.
I'm a buxom man.
Oh, now look at him step on board. Willet Shandy. I've poured Waveline and this beer at hopefully 50-50.
Shall.
I've had it.
Shandy.
Shallot Shandy. See, there you go. What do you think, Nick? Does the Waveline lemonade...
Oh, there's two different things.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah. We're going to do the same one.
Oh, okay.
I forgot to pour mine. I was too busy kind of announcing.
You did a great job.
Thank you.
I do like it. I liked the inclusion of the Wheel of Fortune theme from the 1983 to 1989 run of the show.
Yes. They then dulled it down,
Cheers.
corporatized it later. All right.
I got to get a picture of...
Does Trapdoor's Zest Fest shandy well with a Waveline lemonade? Yeah, it shandies. Am I a humble opinion?
Yeah, I think it's fine, actually, because of the... I mean, the pale ale already was a grapefruit pale ale.
Grapefruit pale ale.
So, like, the inclusion of lemon is, like, actually a nice balance. They aren't overly acidic with this.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty nice.
It's pretty nice. I think it's shell shandy in this household. I told my wife, Devin, about this before I left. I'm like, I got to get a Waveline. And she was like, why are you still drinking those? And I said, I'm going to do
They're
it.
not awful. Devin doesn't like them?
She doesn't, again, she doesn't like anything that I like or that I do. But she said, she said, okay, you're going to bring those. And I'm like, I'm doing a new segment on the show. I'm going to introduce it called Will It Shandy. Mm-hmm. And she said, I really hope he gets a porter. She was rooting for failure.
That will be the day.
But you played
Good
right
Lord.
into my little tiny hands. You got a grapefruit pale.
Now, a question about the theme music. What made you pick Wheel of Fortune and not... Because, like, David Letterman famously has the Will It Float segment.
Yeah, the Will It Float. I just thought it'd be fun to go, Will It Shandy?
Like Wheel of Fortune. That's fun.
And so...
On that
yeah.
note, too, you know what my dad used to say when Wheel of Fortune would come on after Jeopardy, I think,
I couldn't tell you.
on TV? He would go, oh, you're watching that Wheel of Dummies again. That was his line.
Wheel of Dummies.
Dunking on Wheel of Fortune.
Sure. And why is it... Oh, because it's not a thinking man's game show like Jeopardy?
Right, I think that's the...
Wow.
Yes, that's the
And
implication.
he looked down on it. I didn't know he was explicitly juxtaposing Wheel of Fortune to Jeopardy here.
I mean, I think... Yeah, maybe not inherently so. Maybe just game shows in general he was dunking on.
Yeah. Because what would... Yeah, Jeopardy's could be like Dunce, Jeopardy.
This is stupidity.
Yeah. All right, this Shandy's, my section is wrapped right up tighter than a stickle snack.
Good job, Joe. I do like the segment. That's a fun segment. Does it have to be
thank you.
Waveline electrolyte beverage each time?
No, I just didn't have a lemonade at home, and I got a ton of these fucking Wavelines. Basement's filled with these.
Trying to move a lot of wavelines here.
I got to move a few dozen Wavelines, so it's going to be part of the show for the extended period of time. Yeah, it's Shandy's, baby.
Good segment. It does, and man, it gets me in the mood for Shandies. I love Shandies. This summer, we've had like summer-like weather out here with a little weather corner.
Yeah, let's
talk
get
here.
into the weather a little bit.
It's been like summery out here. It's mid-April, Joe.
It touched like close to 80 this last weekend.
did.
Sunny and warm. It's still in the 70s today, but it's going to cool down.
Oh, just when I got my hopes up again in life after years of turning inward and not really hoping for much, the weather goes and shifts on me yet again.
In April, yet again. One day it was warm, and the next fucking day it was cold. I don't get it. And it's been that way for 60 years of my life. When will it end?
You know, there are two seasons, winter and trying to recover from my seasonal affective disorder for 6 months.
Oh, now we're in like a weird like book club. It's like a librarian telling you that. It's
That's
no
the
longer
bit.
our uncles. Yeah, I like it. There are two seasons.
Yeah, it's like a little bit of stand-up routine, but it's, someone who has deep depression issues.
Yeah. And needs to move somewhere sunnier if it affects them at that level.
If that's the one problem in their life that's keeping them down.
And otherwise, perfect life. Great family, kids, dog and a cat, fucking flying around.
Oh, man.
What a world, huh, Nick?
And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
It shall shandy. Okay. Well, we did the segment.
We did
I don't
the
have
segment.
anything else to fucking add here, okay?
Well, I'm going to get out my beer. This beer's kind of like a little treat for the boys.
Okay.
Because it's a follow-up from the same brewery that gave us one of our very tippy-top ranked beers.
Okay.
I'll go and get it out of the fridge.
Okay, what's the segment called? Oh, wow. I didn't think we were going to freeze up.
It's honestly not supposed to be a segment, I guess. That's...
Well, I was going to pull up music.
No.
All right. Well, you go get the beer then.
Number 2, part 2? It's not a poop thing, though.
Number 2, part 2. And this, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, is the current Wheel of Fortune theme song, 2017 to present. Oh.
Joe, I'm going to present it very seductively to you.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
It's coming out from behind my back,
Yeah.
between my legs,
You.
and up front.
Ah, Delirium. Isn't that the brewery, right? Or no? Brewers.
Cut
Cut the fucking feed.
or
Cut the
Hooga.
music.
Hooga, the Belgian brewery, who gave us Delirium Tremens, our current number 2 beer,
Okay. We now
Has
have this one, which
made
is
Delirium Red, a Belgian ale with cherry and elderberry.
cherry and elderberry. Wow. So Delirium Red, does that mean that basically Delirium Tremens is sort of the base or the root of this, and they've now spun off like another flavor based on berry?
You
So
know,
it's
who
another
could say?
I wonder if it'll shandy.
Thank God none of that wave line is left.
Oh, there's plenty of wave line left, baby. I unloaded 24 cases outside your door before I came in.
No, this is definitely more of a dessert type beer, as you can tell from the flavors in it, cherry and elderberry.
Yeah.
So I don't think it would shandy well, but you're more than welcome to try. This is an 8% beer.
Oh, mama.
Let's give it a little taste.
Let's give it a taste here. I'm going to drink my shandy and sort of spritz around a little of the other beer. I guess we're not reviewing anymore, so fuck this beer. Zest Fest, you were fine. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not a big
It's
deal.
peace and love, man. It's like a tie-dye can. It's all about peace and love.
We love
But that
peace and
beer-
love on this podcast, certainly. And if you're ever down in Portland, you can go to Trapdoor Brewing by just going a touch north to Vancouver, Washington.
Yes.
Not to be afraid with, don't be afraid, not to be mixed up with, confused with, like I am, with Vancouver, BC. A fine place. Okay.
For the whole family. Joe,
Bring it on down.
bring it on down to Vancouver, Wah. Do you have it? Do you want it in that cup?
Yeah, pour it in this cup for me, Nick. Belgium Red, Delirium Red. So if you've had Delirium Tremens, you're very familiar with this can. Pink Elephant.
Pink elephant.
Cheers, bud.
Cheers.
But a red can. Here we go.
Wow. Yeah, very tart on the nose.
Oh, it's got oh man.
That tastes like cough syrup.
It's got a cough syrup thing, like the red flavored cough syrup.
Yeah. Or cherry flavored cough syrup. Wow.
Oh,
Yeah, that's not very good.
I don't like that at all. That's something. Why did they do this?
Do you think if we let it warm up a little bit, it'd be better?
It's supposed to be warm?
Let's hear.
It's really going to taste like cough syrup. I mean, it tastes like, you hear that a lot when people try something and it's like sweet but has like kind of a menthol flavor to it, whatever it might be. People are like, oh, it tastes like cough syrup, like licorice and stuff. This really, like, literally tastes like cough syrup. It doesn't taste like...
What a bummer.
yeah.
I mean, it's beautiful color. It truly is. It looks like a mixture
Very
of
hot
piss
color.
and blood has been gargled in one's mouth.
It does look like piss and blood. which, according to Nick, a beautiful color. But
If you catch the light right in it, Joe, it's gorgeous.
if you compare this to Zest, which just does a touch of fruit but then has a lot of beer,
Some subtlety.
yeah, the Delirium brand of beers went the other way with this. There's no beer flavor almost at all. This is more like Waveline than it is like Delirium Tremens.
Wow.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's better when it's a little warmed up. I put a little in my mouth and let it warm up. You get a little more of like almond. Yeah, it was gargling the mixture. The bliss, as I like to call it, blood and piss. And it does taste better. You get like a little more like of the almondy flavor.
Plud.
Yeah, that's more gross. Yeah.
Almondy flavor, huh? I didn't get almond at all. It's so overwhelmingly cherry. Cherry isn't a subtle flavor, and it never will be. And I don't care what your scientists are trying to do. But here it's certainly not fine, even if it can be. If
You know,
we push
like
the limits of
amaretto?
science.
That
Yeah,
almond
yeah.
flavor, that's what I'm getting a little bit out of here.
Interesting. And maybe that's what they're maybe trying to approximate a little bit.
So it's definitely seems to be a dessert beer. That is
Okay.
true.
So I was supposed to treat this like a port wine when I thought I was just drinking another
it's
red.
8% ABV. So definitely a sipper. Probably, it's not something I would buy again.
No, but I think if you frame it like you did, where maybe you had a meal and your whole dessert is going to be this, and you just get a little glass of it. I mean, they're selling it in a fucking pint can.
Right,
I
that's
don't know
to
who's
share
slugging
among 12 friends.
Yeah.
Wish I had that many. Bwah, bwah.
Oh, Nick, you have plenty of wholesome friends. Everyone loves you.
There are
Nick.
2 seasons. Winter.
Oh, we love you no matter the season. You're always welcome, and I'm always welcome here. That'd be kind of weird. Somebody saying, "I'm always welcome
in your life and your home." Okay,
It's better than my doctor.
your doctor needs to have his license revoked.
I mean, I've never explicitly seen his license. I guess who asked for a doctor's license though? At the end,
no,
of the
that's
day?
true. I just assume,
Yeah.
they went through the trouble of getting an office and the table and stuff. I just assume, like,
Well, it's
even if they're not. Oh, yours doesn't.
He doesn't necessarily have an office or a table per se. It's sort of an outdoor thing. I always took it to be COVID safe.
Granted, how long have you been going there?
Oh man, it's been years now.
Wow.
Yeah, and he keeps saying he's gonna wring my fucking neck if I come by him one more time. And I mean, at the end of the day, sure. When I originally started going to him, he had a practice with an office and a table, and sure, I made a couple of complaints to HIPAA, and sure, he no longer has a practice and a table. HIPAA. I think I'm already fucked up from this delirium red.
of HIPAA's coming. Watch out.
Not to be confused with hippo, which is also not to be
Which
confused.
is scarier.
Scarier, but also should be confused with elephant, like the elephant on Delirium Red. All right, Nick,
My mind's in a knot, Joe. You're going to have to untie me from that one.
tie me up and
It's been a long time since, yeah. Probably because it's not a great saying.
it's not great. I'm glad we've backed away from it.
We've grown.
It isn't you and me saying it though. We're doing a character. This is an
Of
entertainment
course.
podcast. I don't condone what Jesse does on the show, Jesse Ventura.
Right.
Speaking of, my parents were driving
Wow.
through. Yeah, it actually does. My parents were driving through Nevada. They live in an RV. They're very happy about it. They're driving
yeah.
through Arizona. It is awesome, and they're coming back up to Washington. Very excited to see them again. But anyway, they made like a pit stop, I believe, in Nevada. Maybe I have the details slightly wrong, but I think it is.
That's never stopped you from telling a story before.
Yeah, and it's not going to stop this time because the location doesn't matter. That's why it doesn't stop me. Because they stopped at a campground, and in the back of the campground is a notorious biker gang with, they're called the Mongols, which...
Okay.
Look, there may be, who knows what's going on there. But anyway, they have it on the back of their leather jackets and such. And my mother looks up this biker gang to make sure that they're okay. They're one of the most violent gangs in the country, apparently. And one of their notorious members, one of the members of this biker gang from years past was Jesse Ventura.
What?
Yes. I was a member in the late 80s, I believe. Hold on, let me look
And
it
so
up.
they're staying in a national park? Is that what you said? Or like state park?
Yeah, well, they kind of like, when they're on the road like that, they pick different places. So they're not always in like a state park
based
or
there.
whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. So that they might
This
stay in a
is headquartered
KOA
in
or-
Southern California.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, she says, leaving this morning instead of tomorrow. The Mongols Motorcycle Club camping behind us was a little too much. And I said, don't judge them until you know them. She said, we're a little too shy. The Alcohol Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms have called them the most violent and dangerous in the nation. Many members are ex-convicts, ex-gang members, making them very dangerous, hard to reason with. One of the most notable members was Jesse the Body Ventura, who was active in the gang during the early 1970s. I held the role of sergeant at arms. Within the club, I was known as Superman for my physique. So anyway,
Wow.
yeah.
Okay.
So Jesse did have something to play there in that story. My parents left a day early because they weren't thrilled about the motorcycle gang behind them.
Now, if a biker gang is violent, are they violent towards like the general public,
Good
or are they
question.
violent towards
The
you know-
hell raising?
Yeah, or are they like
Probably towards each other.
turf? Right.
Yeah,
Turf war.
The other
more than-
gang. I know
yeah.
nothing. But
But
I would
I-
assume my parents weren't at grave danger.
Right. I mean, I don't blame your mom for being a little skittish
Sure,
about
a
it. But,
little jumpy here, and
Yeah.
we're only going to stay one more night. Maybe we just take off a day early here.
right.
And the Rand Man will go out there and join the damn gang for all
Yeah.
I know.
That was a real fear.
Yeah.
Never see your dad again.
Yeah, he's one of the founding sergeant at arms of the Mongols.
By the way, what kind of beverages do they drink when they're traveling the country? Not that they're drinking like while they're traveling, but like if they stop in all these spots. Is
Are
there
you
a-
asking while
a
they're behind the
consistent-
wheel?
Well, sure.
No, not behind the wheel, of course. Wine, really cheap wine.
Okay.
I think they like wine. I don't think they're much beer drinkers. My mom isn't. I think they're in
Okay.
the hard seltzer game for sure.
Nice. And they're with them.
And yeah, that's it. I don't know if they're doing much drinking. It's just, but when they do it, it's just your basic kind of
Nice.
wine after dinner type thing. Whenever we visit them, that's kind of more or less what they're doing.
Nice.
It's good. They don't, whatever. When they're down in Arizona in the summer, I don't know how many great breweries are around them. The Pacific Northwest is where we're spoiled, my dear boy.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, there are like if there's ever a city, there's breweries everywhere. But I know they're not like staying in a city, so it's not like
They
they
stay
have
far
easy
away.
access to a brewery.
They're they drive a giant truck, so they don't like driving into the city.
Sure.
And they don't like seeing me, so that too. They spend more time with
No, they're
our
on
friends
their-
Matt.
Right. Yeah. Engineer Matt.
Yeah.
No, they're on their way up.
Don't get
Spend
on the,
the
mic,
summer with
Engineer
you.
Matt. Yeah, they are on the way up.
Ones and twos only, Matt.
Nick, you want to prep the music? Shall it?
Oh boy.
Shandy.
We pick up this music where it left off in the YouTube video.
Okay, so I have. Here we go.
Joe.
Shandy it shall.
Oh,
I
the
think
twinkle in his eye.
I think we found a new number one.
Well, let me try it.
Shandy it shall.
Oh, is the wave line gone now?
Here's my early theory. Everything will shandy.
That's my little secret.
It's our little secret. Everything's gonna shandy. What do you think, Nicholas?
What would you say the ratio is of that? How much did you try to go half and half?
I did my damnedest to go
Okay.
half and half. I'm not
I
skilled.
mean, it does. It's funny because the wave line basically like thins out whatever it's poured into.
Yes.
So it just makes it a little more refreshing without vastly changing the flavor. So yeah, I mean, it is good. It's not bad.
Shandy it shall. I mean, this Delirium Red is, for better or for worse, like you said, it's a dessert drink, but it's one of the most like pungent beers, like not pungent, what's the word? Rich, bright, vibrant beers I've
Sure.
ever had, because it's so fruit forward. And you could shandy that thing right down if you want. I'm telling you, you want to impress your friends at a barbecue this summer. You want to make a good time.
Do.
Yeah, okay. Well, then listen up, buckwheat. You're going to bring yourself a Minute Maid fucking 2-pinter of lemonade. And you're going to shandy everything in sight. If your friends are drinking, no matter what they're drinking out of a Solo cup, you shandy it. You walk up and you dump half of the lemonade in it, and they're going to go, "You son of a bitch, I'd like to wring your fucking neck right now." But then you know what they're going to say? They're going to drink it and they're go, "That shall shandy."
Shandy it shall. Thanks, Cold Cans Podcast.
And then at Instagram us at hashtag cold cans.
At hashtag Cold Cans. Shandy it shad. Mm-hmm. I think that's a great idea, Joe.
Yeah, it's maybe the new prank taking the nation, a super viral thing.
Or we become a
bro.
jackass of sorts.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Joey Glock, and this is Shallot Shandy. And I dump a fucking lemonade in your head, and you're like, oh. What do you think about prank shows?
We've talked in private about this many times.
Yeah.
Of course, prank shows that are playing pranks, making a fool of the unsuspecting are awful.
They're awful, but not everybody believes that.
Which is too bad.
The Impractical Jokers do that. They make fun of the guy at the hardware store, and that's no fun, right?
Do they? I haven't seen a ton of that. The things I've
seen
they're
none of
like,
it.
oh, okay. They're like trying to make a fool out of their buddy. They have like an earpiece in and they like tell him, you got to do this. So in some ways it's implicating the general people around them to have a weird experience. But I think mostly they're trying to make it weird for their buddy.
I see. Okay.
It's mostly like, I think, TikTokers and YouTubers and stuff that have gotten into
Logan
the
Paul.
realm, of just playing pranks or whatever, just being awful to people.
Yeah.
For
That I
likes
don't
and
like
views.
at all. And
Yeah.
I bet as kids you do because you're stupid and you like being bullies and stuff. But
Yeah.
that was the allure of Jackass, was like, for the most part, they weren't playing pranks on others. They were literally like, let's shoot Steve-O into the sky or something.
It was all buddies, just being awful to each other.
And that
And they
plays
knew
great.
it would make them a bunch of money, so it was fun.
Well, you can do the same thing. You can make a bunch of money by going around to your friends and shandying their drinks.
First get
this
sponsored
summer.
by Minute Maid.
Ooh.
Then you get friends.
Shallot Shandy, sponsored by Minute Maid, the new viral sensation taking over TikTok.
What if we waylay Cold Cans into a marketing company?
Well, you basically are here. The first thing we do is we do away with the rankings. We start stripping away the very fabric and core of this show, and we become a marketing company where we create viral campaigns like Shallot Shandy. Folks, if you're out there trying to shandy stuff, I encourage you. I'll tell you this: if you go to the grocery store, this weekend and you go grocery shopping,
Yes,
throw
I
a
do.
2-liter Minute Maid in there, and we'll reimburse you. The Cold Cans boys.
Well, it's our lawyers that are going to put an end to this. They're in the corner.
No, it's a guarantee. I'll reimburse you for your Minute Maid personally. If you message,
Okay.
if you met
That we can do. That you can do.
out of the shared. I can do it with the shared debit card that we have for the company.
No.
And if you get a Minute Maid, you got to do two things. You got to buy the Minute Maid.
Wow.
And then you got to shandy something that maybe you haven't shandied before. And then you send it to us on social media or elsewhere. Just text us. It's just you guys out there that you know us. And we'll reimburse you for the Minute Maid, but not the alcoholic drink.
Receipts necessary.
This is a Glock guarantee. Yeah, please.
Value
receipts.
tops out at $2.50.
This promotion is only good for $1. The shandy stuff, ladies and gentlemen. It's the summer's coming up.
It is. I mean, if you get a red Solo cup full of ice and you pour a beer in there, this is assuming it's a really hot day, so you would need like the ice. Maybe you don't if the beer's cold.
Yes.
Put half a beer in there, equal amount of lemonade. It's the best thing in the world.
It's the best.
It's so good.
And we've now tried 3 different. We tried Bud Light even on this show with something that isn't even lemonade. It's this god awful wave line.
Right. That's not even tasty Shan.
Lemonade. It's not Shan material. Like a Minute Maid lemonade can be refreshing and fresh. We've tried this fruity grapefruit, and then we've tried this off the wall cherry and elderberry drink, and they all shandied. I think a porter and a stout would shandy, for Christ's sakes.
Wow.
I'm sorry for taking the Lord's name in vain.
I don't know if that's going to be true, though.
It probably isn't. So, but hey, again, you only find your boundaries if you go past them.
It's true. But I was thinking about the name. Here I was just sitting in the corner. I was thinking.
Yeah.
I was thinking again.
Go ahead.
The Minute Maid. Minute Maid.
Yeah.
M-A-I-D.
Minute Maid.
Is how they spell it.
Yeah, it's not made in a minute.
This should be a cleaning product, Joe. A
Ladies and
cleaning
gentlemen,
product.
Ladies and gentlemen, this should be a cleaning product.
Why not both?
Ladies and gentlemen, I was sitting down thinking the other day, Minute Maid.
Stylized as such. They got to put it like on the Jumbotron.
Yeah, they have
so
a
people
PowerPoint
get the joke.
running in the background. What did you actually have a take at that at all?
No,
Like,
that was all for that.
Okay, I'm interested in what that means. What is Minute Maid?
It's gotta.
Made.
Yeah, my assumption is that they made a product that you could make lemonade at home in under a minute.
Yeah,
And
they were the first company to market frozen orange juice concentrate.
okay,
So it was distributed through the U.S. year-round, which was new at the time. Wow.
the crumbling of society started with Minute Maid.
In Central Europe,
Things are meant to be cyclical, Joe. Just like the way it's said.
Yeah. Why did it become... So it was Florida Foods, Inc., and then Vacuum Foods Corporation. Vacuum, V-A-C-U-U-M, like vacuum. Vacuum
That's
Foods.
very good.
Yes. The company adopted the name Minute Maid Corp. That's it. Fresh tasting orange juice any time of the year in 1954. Wow.
A Boston marketing firm, H.A. Loudon Advertising, came up with the name Minute Maid, implying the juice was quick and easy to prepare.
But it's not made. It's a homophone.
I know. Is there a definition of MAID that we're not seeing?
Ladies and gentlemen, this could be a cleaning product. It's also funny because of how not a joke that is. Cleaning product. You have to be more specific to deliver a punchline. Ladies and gentlemen, this could mop my floor or something. You know? Right.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a cleaning product. It's like missing the layup. Hey, I think though, if you enter promo code ColdCans at minutemaid.com, you will get reimbursed by the Minute Maid Corporation, as we talked about earlier.
Now this I like.
No, ask yourselves, shall it shandy, go out and do it. If literally any one of you responds, we will send you Minute Maid for life. Minute Maid for the rest of your life. What do you think, Nick? I don't know how to
wrap it up.
I don't know how to take the bullet train home without ranking. I feel naked and afraid over here.
Oh wow. The popular Discovery Channel show.
Like the popular Discovery Channel show. And like I literally am right now.
I think we can maybe we tease a little bit of next week, which we haven't planned. I mean, which we're planning in Todoist.
We should tease the Patreon. Should we go through the Patreons?
Let's pump the brakes on. We're not going to do that. Let's be real.
We have a Google Doc now of all the Patreon ideas.
It's not in Todoist, though.
Seltzer
we're not gonna
testing, wine and cheese, cooking with beer.
Are you going to lift our skirt up that far? You're going to show the whole show?
Just offering a little taste.
Wow.
A little tease. OnlyFans account to post pics and vids of us. Oh, hold on. That's gone a little off the rails. All right, Nick. I don't know what we're going to do. Maybe this is how we decide what we're going to do next week. We tease next week by coming up with the beer that we're going to do next week.
Wow.
What's the beer we should do?
I don't think we're going to come up with it in this amount of time, though.
Yeah, so it was a fucking dog shit idea from the jump.
Now we're going to jump off
Nicholas Patry.
the episode.
Yeah, we are. Okay. In review, if you're in the Pacific Northwest and you see Trapdoor's Zest Fest, big tie-dye can, you can't go wrong. You're going to like it. If you're in the 52%
Good old summary.
If you're in the 52%.
Real original. This is great stuff.
Let me go. If you're in the 52% of Cold Cans Nation that likes hops, hell, you'll like this beer. Delirium, would you like to summarize, Nick?
Delirium, you need a sip of it for dessert. You're trying to lose some weight but still want to get a little buzzed. Take a sip of Delirium Red.
Wow.
After dinner.
Just one sip.
Just
like
one
an
sip
amaretto or whatever.
is all you nip.
One sip's all you'd nip. And both will shall shandy.
Yeah, we did find out they shall shandy.
With shitty shandy. I'm so excited about this new viral trend taking the world by storm.
It is shitty shandy, but there might be something to the fact that it's so inoffensive because it's so thin and lightly flavored that if we use true lemonade with either of these things, it might not have been as good. There could be something at play there.
Agreed. And I wonder if Minute Maid is just bad enough that it would still work.
Maybe.
Because it doesn't have any actual
use
lemonade
a little less flavor.
of it. Yeah. Nick, I like the new direction for the show. Great idea, honestly. Drank or rank?
Sure, yes.
It's good.
I don't know if it's a new direction. It's not a new direction.
No, it gives us flexibility. Like
this is more of a new Harry style for the program than a new One Direction for the show. How about that? Can you punch up that 3 minutes later after you've had time to rue it over? Can you do that for me, Joe?
I wouldn't and I couldn't. Because it's perfect as is. We can't end on a bitter note like this.
We're done. The show's done. Not just this show. The whole show. It's done. I'm done.